What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tales of Arise. Last time we defeated a dinosaur boss. We cut his tail off like in Dark Souls. It was quite fun. A weird boss fight, kind of long but kind of easy, so it lets me think that we're on a good way for a lot of things. My god, sorry. It is early in the morning. It is raining outside, but we are having a good time. So let's get to it, shall we? So the crazy witch lady left. Head for the hidden underground dock west of Drizzen and Yetz. So that would be this, I'd assume. So this is Nyetz, right? Nyez. So west is over there. I mean, we'll just look at everything, right? We already explored all of this, so now is the smooth sailing place of the playthrough, where we can just walk around
like
and
we made it here in one piece.
see if it is there. Oh my god! What a morning, though.
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. It looks operational.
Oh, so now it works.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danits. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almadria.
Oh, there's a chest. We get heavy treat. That's dope. Anything here? I doubt it, but I just want to make sure. Ooh, mackerel. Fun times. Oh, cutscene time.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be.
Who says that? I know my jib for my boom.
Whoa there.
Let's go,
You
brother.
been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're ill.
Yeah, we'll go. Let's go. Let's jib the boon, Mahavar.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Of course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board.
True, but they need
On the
slaves
other
to
hand,
operate
I'd be
the
real
ship.
surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Till then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
Thanks. Thanks for the advice. Your party disbanded.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almadria, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodia's Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadeye. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Oh no, not everything is black and gray. Black and white, I mean.
You said that you had to forgive Almadria. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almadria when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Cute.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Shion mad. I don't know though, maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Shion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
So I'm guessing we're gonna have scenes like that, so this is gonna be a more chill episode for sure. just story beats and whatnot. There is a lot of that in this game, so you know, just get ready for it. Just talking to people and chilling.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almadria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed.
Bzz, 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 bzz.
You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Little Titanic scene.
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
She knows something. She knows something for sure.
Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can...
So, every single
Shion?
Tales of... Well, I'm gonna wait for them to finish, but it's an interesting
Sorry,
take on this.
it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends,
Oof.
after all.
Friend-zoned. Oh, she's not happy. She's
are.
not happy. Oh, the friend zone is real. Oh, Lord. Alright. So, yeah, what I wanted to say was, basically every Tales of starts, and it's kind of divided into two ways. So you have your original idea. So, kind of spoiler, but it is like a 20-year-old game, but I'm gonna talk about my favorite one, Tales of Symphonia. So, in Tales of Symphonia, what happens is that you're sent on a task to seal and destroy the spirits. So that, well, no, it's a trial for the spirit, so that Colette, which is the side character of that game, can become the healer of the new world, like the herald for the gods and whatnot, to heal everything. But then you realize that there are two worlds, well, two different dimensions of the same worlds, coexisting next to one another, and you start traveling between them. And you start to realize that the process of what you're doing isn't right, and it's not what you want to be doing. So you start to go against the higher power that coexists between these worlds, and you end up realizing that there's one bad guy at the end that's called Yggdrasil. Now, in this game, what I'm guessing is gonna happen is she got told that if she got the Ranas Almas, she would get rid of those thorns, but obviously the person who told her that, or who invented that legend, is gonna be like, hey, never mind, by the way. And they're gonna take the Master Core, and the game is gonna take a turn right after that. So we'll see.
You don't look so good. You all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almadria were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almadria did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Nagal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
Get on as friend, you mean, right?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry.
There's always this one
Can
seasick
you
character
just
in every Tales of.
give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
So you're talk to you.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almadria?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
True.
Even what Almadria did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
Yeah, but she got
So
a
then why would
lot of
Almadria
energy.
do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless.
Fair enough.
No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course.
Lordra.
It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almadria resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
I worry that since she has the Windmaster core, she's just gonna be able to like throw the ship on the side. But then Jib Boom is gonna destroy everything, so that's gonna be fine. We should be fine,
I took a
right?
look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almadria, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almadria. I'll ask.
Talk to Mahavar. That ship had a better head start than I first thought. If you want to take a nap before things pop off, now's the time. We're gonna rest for sure. We need the HP. I figured it would be like that, so.
Look who's up. Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
Oh my god, what is the ship?
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
There's cannons on that ship?
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
I'm kind of worried our boss fight is gonna be her casting spell with a big bad Zugos in the middle. That's gonna be rough.
Perfect. You managed to get us right.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave it.
Good. Then let's find
Almadria. She knows we're here, but that's fine.